Ah, would you look at that? Blue skies, sunshine, and the irises are putting on a show like they own the place. It looks like spring. But let's be real, it's not spring yet. It is still bloody freezing. And yet, like every gardener ever, I am itching to get going, sowing seeds, getting my hands dirty, prepping for summer. And to do that, I need one thing: more growing space. It's polytunnel time.
Well, good morning from a cold and frosty morning in Gloucestershire, and welcome back to the Wild Patch. And today is the day we are going to be turning this, my old rabbit run, into a greenhouse slash polytunnel, polybunnel? I'm not entirely sure what to call it yet. So I mentioned that I was going to do this a few videos back, and since then I've been looking up, been searching on YouTube and Pinterest and just Google in general to see if anyone else has done this. And I have not found anything, which tells me one of two things. One, it's a genius idea nobody's ever come up with before, or two, it's a ridiculous idea that nobody's ever come up with before, for a reason. So with no blueprint, no plan, no idea, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go. But I've got tools, I've got a vision, and most importantly, I've got Martin. This is Martin, currently doing his best impression of Michelle Pfeiffer from Grease 2. He is my stepdad, incredibly handy, and has been absolutely invaluable throughout this whole project. So thank you, Martin. So the space is 2 metres wide by 3 metres long, so a decent enough space for a greenhouse. But being an ex-rabbit run, we have a few problems that we need to get over. Firstly, it's full of holes, which is no good for keeping a place warm for plants. So we have plastic for that. And the second thing is the flat roof. Now, what I am worried about is water pooling on the roof and sagging down the wire here, which is going to be no good at all. So we need to troubleshoot that as well.
Now I forgot to mention the third issue, and that is that the door is on the wrong side. If you can see here, the door is on the long end, and I want it on the short end for two reasons. Firstly, it will make it easier to wrap in plastic. And secondly, I'll have more wall space for shelving. Did I also mention that this structure was not designed to be taken apart again? So we had to break out the big guns. Hooray! Now on to the rain issue. Martin came up with the idea of using some 1 inch by 1 inch wooden batons to separate one half of the roof with the wall to create a slightly pitched roof, which I thought was a bloody good idea. It didn't work, and I think that's because we couldn't pull the plastic tight enough in the end. But that's okay. We live and learn. Now, let me tell you about this bloody piece of plastic. In my infinite wisdom, I bought a 4 by 10 meter sheet of polytunnel plastic, thinking that would be plenty to go around my 3 by 2 meter rabbit run. And it did. What?
Just thinking the best way of doing this and then making sure that you're not having to move it too much.
However, what I didn't bargain for was a piece of plastic that big being really difficult to handle.
It's the wrong way round. It needs to go over there, doesn't it?
We had it upside down, we had it inside out, we had it the wrong way round. If there was a wrong way to have that piece of plastic, we had it. So as you'll have seen, we managed to do 3 sides and the roof all in a oneer, which I don't know if that was a fluke or just brilliant planning on our part. Either way, all we had to do was create a panel for the end and cut a hole for the door. Sorry folks, no satisfying ASMR on this channel.
So it's now a few days and one IKEA trip later, and the inside is all set up, even with a few plants on the go already. So, should we take a look? Now, I've said it before, this is never going to be my dream greenhouse, but in the spirit of making do with what we had, I think this turned out pretty well. And if in the future anyone decides to Google how to turn a rabbit run into a greenhouse, there's going to be at least one answer of how to do it. So my question to you guys is, what is the weirdest DIY garden project you've done? Let me know in the comments, I would love to hear about it. Or, better still, if you've got any photos on Instagram, tag me. I am wild.patch.life. And that's it from me this week. So I'm going to be spending the rest of my weekend sowing some seeds, but more about that in the next video. If you have liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't already, please consider subscribing to my channel to see what I get up to over the coming weeks and months. I will see you next time. Bye.